Okay, so what's going on, guys? We're going to be going over Punk's Ed, and we're going to be reviewing it and essentially seeing what type of tech you can learn from watching Punk's Ed. Because I know sometimes you guys will watch certain videos on Ed, you'll watch match footage, but having someone break it down makes it a little bit easier to digest. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. Okay, as per usual, every character that has, well, most characters that have a fireball has access to this. So just a simple fireball, drive rush, where they hopefully can perfect parry and then punish this, but if not, then you kind of have to hold what follows.
It whips on crouches like you said, right? And also the one good thing about like Ed is that he obviously has flickers, it counts
And he got hit, blocked the overhead, got the punish, but didn't use any meter behind it, puts him in the corner. Notices that he does have a little bit less drive gauge, which means he has to be a little bit more mindful of the options that he chooses. Naturally, this also means that Dual Kevin can no longer use a button drive rush, so he has to be a little bit more mindful. He might go for a little bit more light sandblaster, maybe to bait out some of his drive gauge, or he might just decide to chill and try to whip punish something into a small confirm. So what I did notice about Ed's gameplay is that people generally stay really pretty far out from your opponent. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit here. They stay a little bit further out from their opponent. This is namely because further than most characters would. Let me be specific here. Now the reason is because a lot of his kick moves, predominantly his medium kick moves, crouch medium kick, sitting medium kick, these moves are very good for whiff punishing from long distances, on top of which he has medium flicker, psycho flicker, and light psycho flicker that allow him to check the space really well, with Luke being able to do very little to nothing about it. Right? If he tries to throw out a sandblaster, it's fine, it'll trade, but it won't get him anything. Like that range right here, you might, exactly what I'm talking about. See what I'm saying? You'll stand outside the range, he'll stand out purposely further out than most characters, so that if you decide to stick something out, you get whiff punished. And then now he might do level 1. No, he didn't do level 1. It's okay. So you want to stand a little bit further out just so that you can abuse the normals and specials that you have, and especially even with Luke's crouch and medium punch being so good. And yes, even though there was a patch, his buttons are still really good, if you didn't know. So if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you need some help. Lord knows I did at some point. But here's the thing, you want your favorite content creators to come and help you, but let's be real, they're charging like $60 per hour. You don't need that, but when I got you good. Over on this channel, I do free coaching sessions on Tuesdays and on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. EST. So what does that look like? I essentially go over your matches. I give you tools so that you can succeed the next time you open up rank. So once again, join my Discord. Wait till I'm live either on Tuesdays or on Thursdays 6:30 p.m. EST. Be there or be square. And yeah, I'm not your favorite pro, but I'm available. Those pros are not available. So once again, join the live, get better, and I'll help you improve. Back to the video. There's some people in my comments that were trying to say that the character is like nerfed. I'm like, brother, please. Okay. So this is one thing, granted, I don't necessarily agree with. It might be, I don't know the logic behind it. However, I'd prefer that he go for a heavy. The reason why he go for quarter circle back heavy punch instead of medium punch, which that looked like, is because it grants you access to safe jump, which a lot of Eds outside of Punk in this specific situation do. And when you safe jump at your opponent, essentially you can jump at your opponent if they try to DP you or anti-air you or anything like that. If they try to anti-air you using a non-air invulnerable move, they get hit for it, and if they use one that is air invulnerable, you have enough time to block afterwards. As opposed to this situation here where dash, you basically have to hold certain things. So like if you were to try an EXDP, that would be on the table for him as well. Notice once again, he's back to that gameplay. So this is important to note for those who are fighting Ed, right? Is number one is that this move has a lot of recovery to it. So Ed players can't comfortably just stick out their standing medium kick and expect to be able to anti-air afterwards. Unfortunately, the move does have a lot of recovery to it. So, and understandably so, naturally. But the thing is that you need to be super mindful of where you're sticking out that button. Okay. Okay, he missed the perfect, but that's okay. Now he's just checking space. Notice how Dual Kevin changed his style. He's not pressing as many buttons in the neutral. He wants to make sure that it's a confirmed hit on block or confirmed touch. Let's go with that. You see again with the medium kick. It's like, although they're mad good, you might end up getting hit for it. Oh, okay, there you go. So essentially, if you don't know what happened here, he canceled this early. This wasn't the full version of the punch. So what happened was that Dual Kevin recognized the fact that he was going for the charge punch, try to press a button to kind of snipe him for it. But because he released it earlier than the fully charged version, there was no need to do the fully charged version. The value of the fully charged version is projectile invulnerability. But obviously in this case, we're not really necessarily worried about that. Possibly plus frames as well. But Dual Kevin thought that he would be able to press a button in time to interrupt this, but he released it early. Because he released it early, he ended up getting counter hit for it, and as a result, now he dies for that decision, which is pretty insane. Let's skip on to the next round here. Okay. Yeah, crouching medium kick, drive rush. Yep, the standard bread and butter. Oh, got caught trying to tech. Pull them in. So this is a lot of what your pressure will look like. Okay, so you'll press a button into the fully charged version, pull them close, and have them guess. So every time that you pull them close like this, every time you pull them close like this, they have to guess on the situation whether you're gonna press throw or you're gonna go into a button. Right, the natural flow of things. So the reason why this is particularly strong, if you pull them in, they anticipate, they try to delay tech, you just empty jump. You can also backdash and you get a standing jumping heavy punch or a standing heavy punch for your punish. And if you've ever watched any Ed punishes, a lot of them start off with the standing heavy punch punish counter hit. So we just want to make sure, yeah, so that's what he went for here. Unfortunately, he didn't take the bait, and he was able to anti-air him successfully, and then now he's still in the corner, kind of has to hold the pressure. That is plus. And then he kind of gets smothered in the corner. So this is another one of Ed's weaknesses, is because his DP and supers are on the slower end of things, meaning that you can easily bait them out. And because you're easily able to bait them out, unfortunately, it makes them a little bit unusable in the corner. And when you're dealing with pressure in the corner, sure, you can try and hold up, and sure, you can try to perfect parry. But again, even trying to parry is a risk, because if you get throw countered, punish countered, you're losing like a lot of drive gauge. Not so much the health damage, but more so the drive gauge is the more important part. So just making sure that you're trying to get trapped in the corner as little as often. English. You're trying to make sure that you don't get trapped in the corner as little as possible. Obviously, naturally, you don't want to be in that situation most of the time, but especially so when it comes to Ed, because his options in the corner are not great. Okay, a little heavy punch combo. Like I said, you get good return on it. So this is a little situation here. You can get plus frames, and you can be relatively safe for doing so. So what you do here is you either dash, or you can use a button as well. You can whiff a button. So what the dash or the whiff button does is that it's known as a frame kill. So when you use these frame kills, you're essentially doing something in order to get auto-timed meaties or auto-timed hits while they're waking up. So the dash killed enough time so that he can do this light fireball, the startup of the light fireball. That way, when he wakes up, it does have a hitbox. So when he wakes up, it's going to hit him immediately. On top of which, if it does hit him, he can also combo off of this like normal. withstanding medium punch. So it does have a lot of value in order to learn how to do. Okay, blocking out the situation. Just your standard Street Fighter, low forward drive rush into throw. Okay, this is something that for some reason people have not picked up on, at least at like the diamond level. Okay, diamond level, platinum level. If you perfect parry Luke's fireball, drive rush into jab, okay, you can get the confirm off of this hit. And it's very important that you do so because you want to make sure that you're not allowing your opponent to just mindlessly throw out fireballs at you, right? But this is something that you do need to be warned about, is that if you do decide to go for it, it still is under perfect parry scaling. So you want to make sure that unless you're killing, you don't want to put too many resources behind that decision. So once again, you just gotta he tried to play the game. He's playing the spacing game, wants to keep him a little bit out. Dual Kevin is trying to force a certain range so that he can play a little bit closer and he doesn't have to deal with descending medium kicks at their max range. So now he's just kind of checking the space with standing medium kick. Like again, it's a really good place to check, or a good button to check with, just to make sure that you're not allowing your opponent to get away with anything like any dashes or anything crazy like that. And anytime you stick out a button too far out, there's always a button waiting for you. You see what I'm saying? There's always a button waiting for you. It's why it makes approaching Ed from the ground particularly difficult unless you have good normals. If you have stubbier normals, you're gonna have to deal with it. It's a little bit harder to deal with. And for all intents and purposes, really like take in the fact that we're dealing with Luke, and Luke has pretty good to decent normals, and even then there's still struggling going on when it comes to trying to fight his normals back and forth. It's really difficult for him to do so. But with that being said, let's go on to this next game. Let's see what happens. So now he's kind of forced to throw out like heavy normals while Punk is still able to just throw out mediums. Granted, he did throw out a heavy punch there. Okay, anti-air, you get your rival situation. He tried a perfect parry, it was a fail. But the thing about this is something that I want to note, and I want you guys to really take in. Okay, watch what happens when Luke whiffs the parry. Okay, watch what happens. Okay, he just whiffed the parry. Watch his drive gauge. What happens when you whiff a drive? You see how long? Now it's starting to go back. It's something that you need to consider when you're using your using parry, is that when baiting out your opponent, you can stop them from having the drive gauge growth by simply just baiting them into an unsuccessful parry. Okay, charge punch, get out the situation, even if he technically wasn't plus here. So technically he wasn't plus here. This is more match unfamiliarity. It's not sure if he's plus or not, so he decided not to press anything. It's better to not get hit and just kind of wait, but this is more unfamiliarity. But with that being said, the reason why this is particularly good is because it gets him out the corner. However, if your opponent is aware of this and tries to DI you, you are susceptible to DI, provided that you don't try and cancel. Naturally, Punk was not thinking about this option, so it kind of worked out. Okay, again, just keeping that space. You see how it's a little bit further out than where most characters like to play. The reason, it's a very simple reason. Is because the buttons are so good, you can stand out there and wait for them to whiff something, and then once they whiff something, you just go for it. That's pretty much it. And the best thing about it is that you can still go for light, you can go for light psycho flicker, and then kind of just protect the space so easily, and it's insane. And you don't have to play close. And you see how hard Dual Kevin has to force the situation, and unfortunately when you force the situation, you put yourself in disadvantage. Alright, there he took his frames, right? The first time he did it, he got away with it, but now the second time he made an adjustment, realized he's not plus, and took his turn. Like I said, even for people at the caliber of Punk, they all struggle against dealing with corner pressure as Ed. It's very difficult to deal with because you don't have the option of DP. Okay, let me be specific. Because you don't have a strong DP to rely upon, it makes people feel more confident, and it makes you feel a little bit less sure about deciding to DP or not, because you never really know depending on the situation. Okay. Again, just standing at that range, further out, you try and just sandblast like an idiot. Well, like, it wasn't an idiotic sandblast, but if you go for a sandblaster a little bit too haphazardly, you'll get drive rush, perfect parry drive rushed, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but even if it doesn't work out, you still get the plus frames, which is really important regardless. Yeah, pull him in, have to guess. He didn't guess throw, so now I would wager that he's going to use throw a little bit, because there's been 2 or 3 times where he's fully charged the Psycho Flicker. Oh no, son. Oh my goodness, that's dead. Yeah. Oh, this character's damage output, bro, it needs adjusting. Okay, using drive reversal to get them off of you. See, notice how he's not falling for it anymore. It was more character unfamiliarity, but now that he knows that he can't get away with that for free, he has to fully charge it. He's now taking his turn afterwards. Okay, using drive reversal to get them off of you. So notice how he's using drive reversal more. The reason why he's using drive reversal more is namely to make sure that he doesn't get trapped in the corner. Notice how every time Dual Kevin has managed to trap him, a lot of the time it ends up in him converting the actual round. So he wants to make sure that he's not allowing him to get him trapped in the corner. Oh, unfortunate. So he tried to do drive rush grab because he's been blocking the entire time after the drive rush jab, assuming that he might get punished. So he tried to go for drive rush grab, but it didn't work out. So this is a little side switch combo. You can actually get a little bit better of a route. Unfortunately, he messed it up, and it's not like on his fault or execution thing. It's more so it's pretty hard to pull off. If you do it too early, you might get you might get well, you might get what just happened to him, right? If you do it too early, and if you do it too late, you might end up dropping but still getting the side switch. Okay, again, playing that space, but he wants to make sure that he's not trapping himself. Okay, Dual Kevin's plan now is to walk him towards the corner, make sure that he's trapped in the corner. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so, keep him trapped. But now that he has him where he wants him, he wants to keep that space. So I do want to notice how, even though the fact that they were here after that initial exchange, how far we've come, because Ed wants to play at a specific spacing that's too far away from your opponent, in a way where he can whiff punish while the opponent can't really press his normals, but also simultaneously giving the illusion that you can. Once again, in the corner. Oh, is he dead? Oh, he gave the GG's. Damn, cooked. But suffice to say, see how much ground he was willing to give up here in these last couple moments here. How much ground he was willing to give up from having them trapped in the corner. So even though you can have your opponent trapped in the corner, Punk went for a more whiff punishing style, so much so that he was willing to sacrifice the corner, right? Willing to sacrifice the corner, playing super slow. Notice how when he's trying to gather space, he's either A, checking the space, or B, returning the space, the gap between them to a certain space, okay? I know I didn't word that properly, but let me show you what I mean here. Okay, they're doing their thing, then he backs up. Okay, once he backs up, Dual Kevin moves forward. Backs up, right? Now he's in the place where he wants to be. Dual Kevin's like, okay, I'm gonna move forward. When he moves forward, Ed moves back. Okay, keeping that space again. Dual Kevin move forward, making it close. He moves back again to make sure that they're further away so he can throw out his flicker normals while if he tries any of his normals, they'll get hit by the flicking normals. Right? Again, he moves forward, he moves back. It's very simple math. So that if he tries to do just a medium kick, like he tries to do a medium kick here, his standing medium kick or crouching medium kick will whiff punish this, and then he can drive rush off of it, either A into a full combo punish into level 3, or he can pressure him depending on how the hit goes, right? See, so let me go here. So he walks back. So then now he's walking back. Now that he's walking back, Ed is walking forward. So he's always in that range. See what I'm saying? So now he was forced to make up this space using a jump. Now, granted, he didn't anti-air this jump, but you know, you're not gonna anti-air all of the jumps, you feel me? But that's kind of the space that you want to keep when playing Ed. Woke up super, won the game, and that's GG's. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching the analysis. I hope this helps you learn Ed or use Ed a little bit more proficiently. With that being said, I have a whole bunch of coaching sessions over there. And if you want some pro analysis, I have those as well. Thank you guys for watching, and please consider subscribing because it does help out the channel grow. With that being said, I'm out, you guys. Peace.